everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. It is Friday after the close. Very, very interesting day. Let's take a look. The general theme is that the high-flying stocks, of which there's 8, like Facebook, Netflix, Amazon, Nike, etc., they all got slammed into the pavement on Friday. So what's interesting now is we have a weekly chart where nothing's wrong. We haven't even taken out the low of the high week. Okay, so there is no sell signals on the weekly chart on a lot of these stocks. So there's not even a concern. On a daily chart, the rule is that once you take out the 8, it opens up the door to the 21. Okay, and then if you take out the 21, it opens up the door, and so on and so on and so on. And so the question is there a larger concern here that the market is unraveling? Now, if we look at the Nasdaq futures, you can see that the Nasdaq futures today were down 2% and continued to bleed lower after hours. And on a weekly chart, all we did was come down to the 8 EMA. Okay, that's normal. However, on a daily chart, we've got a little bit of structural damage here. And so one of the questions on stuff like this is like, okay, so do we sit there and we try to catch the dip or buy the dip or try to time this? And in general, my rule of thumb is that once you go below the 21 EMA, you're kind of dead to me. On like a daily chart. Right now, if I'm looking at this from a weekly perspective, great, but I like to, even on something like this, kind of make sure I'm in alignment here, because this opens up a lot of doors. So from here, I will look at like a linear regression channel on a smaller time frame and just say, all right, we've broken some key levels. I am not going to pay attention to the long side until we get back up above this. Essentially, it's going to be a sliding mean. And the only time you're going to get a significant potential for a reversal is that if you take that out. Okay, so instead of trying to catch the bottom, we'd be waiting for just some essential price confirmation there. Okay, so that's one of the things to keep in mind as we're looking at that stuff. The other stocks that I've been looking at here, I always like to see like, okay, so what got impacted the least or what got impacted the most? Commodities just continue to get hammered, most notably the energy sector. So you can see here that while XLE was only down 0.39% today, if you look at USO, the oil ETF, it was down over 2%. So crude oil rolling back over. And that's something that's going to weigh on the markets. Okay. On the other side of the coin, you had some biotech stocks today that did fairly well. A lot of biotech stocks up on the day. But biotech in and of itself isn't going to support this market. So as we go into next week, my plan of attack is I'll be keying off the S&Ps here. S&Ps here you can see on a weekly chart coming to support. On a daily chart, we've kind of cracked through all the key moving averages. And then from there, dropping down to a 195-minute chart, you can see we have a 195-minute squeeze that did trigger short. As long as this momentum, we'll see if this momentum continues through Sunday, but I'd want to at least see the momentum kind of stop and see if we can start working our way higher. And again, using that linear regression channel to kind of time it if we're going to look at the long side again. But at this point, I think we've got to be very, very careful with this market. It's October was the largest run that we've ever seen in 1 month, so it's normal to kind of come back and reverse this a little bit, but there are certainly some red flags, which I'll talk about more in the premium video. And keep in mind, if you're seeing this, that Don is going to be teaching a class exclusively on shorting this weekend. It's going to start at 2 o'clock p.m. East Coast time on Saturday. A very timely class, simpleroptions.com/short. The Saturday class by itself is $197. If you'd like to add the all-day live training component, it's $297, and that also includes Saturday. So that is the one that I'll be kind of following on and seeing what he's doing there. And you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you at the next update.